Now that we've covered techniques 1 and 2, tonal values and mixing colours, plan to have a short break here and give you a chance to do a small painting. So I've put together a smallish version of this one. There's only one building in the scene, but I like to keep the hills and the grass in the foreground. So I've made up a quick sketch for you here so that you can use that. I'll do that just now, and then we'll get ready to do the painting. So here we go. So I've got my 4B pencil, and I'm going to start. So I'm just going to put the foreground in here. And I'm going to put a small wall in, just about here. And I'm going to start the building about there, on to here. So you can see it's a quick freestyle that I use for sketching. Try not to be too stiff when you're doing the lines for the building and trees, hills, etc. Because we use a light, soft pencil, you can actually rub these marks out when you're finished the painting. Right, so I'm putting some trees in here. I'm going to carry on that hill down the side. I'm going to have 2 bits of trees. I'm going to have some trees sticking up here. I haven't produced this painting before, I'm just making it up, so hopefully we can get something that looks quite presentable at the end of it all. I'm going to put just a hedge in here to break the field up at the wall, and we'll put some mounds in the fields. You've done this before, so you'll know what to do, and that will do. Okay, now that we've got the sketch done, we can start with the painting. I've got 4 brushes here, a big flat one, 2 rounds, and the pointed rigger. Set my phone to 15 minutes. There we go, started and we're off. So I'm going to start off with a blue sky. I'm going to use a colour cobalt blue. So I'm just going to put some water in the palette and use some of this blue. I like this cobalt blue for a summery sky, it's super. Now that's about a 5 value. What I'm going to do just before I start to put that paint on, I'm going to just run some clear water just above the hills in the distance. And the reason for that is that will reduce the colour a bit, because the sky in the distance is always lighter than the sky above. So that should help to reduce it. Right, as you see, I'm off, and I'm just going to crack off in here with the cobalt blue. Just going to keep coming down here. Big flat brush and just keep going. Now as I get here, this should get a bit lighter, yeah, as you see that? Which, as I say, if you're out and about the next time, have a look at the sky and you'll see it's definitely darker up here than it is down at the horizon line. Right, I'm going to leave that and just let that settle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come down to the greenery of the fields. So I'm going to mix up a yellow, cadmium yellow, this bright colour here, mix up the wash, and just a little bit more water, and some of this blue, and there we go, that super summery green colour. Right, so here we go, that's about a bit of 4 value again. So I'll just quickly paint over this. Again, you can see I'm just filling it, blocking it in as quickly as I can. And what I'm going to do now is, just to give a bit more colour in certain areas, I'm going to add a little bit yellow ochre. And I'm just going to drop that in bits just to give it a bit different, rougher texture. This is wet so that it will all soften up and doesn't leave any marks that don't look right. I'm going to just, while I've got that blue there and some of this green, I'm just going to, this is all about mixing colours. As you can see, I'm flinging anything in here. I really just want to get one or two little darker bits that we'll be able to use later on. Right, that's good, that's looking fine. So I'm going to go up to the hill now on the left hand side, this area up here, and I'm going to mix up a nice green for that as well. So I'm going to use a bit of that yellow ochre colour and a bit of blue. I'll use this Windsor blue again, see what it's like. Yeah, it's not too bad. So I'm going to start off with a hill. It's a bit too strong, so I'm going to add water to that. That's too dark, we need to get that down. That's better. Right. Not too bad. So I'm going to just go to the trees on the right here, this bottom part. I'm going to put some just cadmium yellow in here. And a little touch of that blue again. And I just want to fill in this bushes at the side of this house. Just checking the time, not too bad, 9 minutes to go, so we're on track. Right, now just come round here, I'm going to use some of that colour again, and I'm just going to suggest some texture in the distance. Trees, and I'll explain these strokes later on in the next session, which covers brush strokes. See that lovely effect there? Right, just going to use some of that while I've got it. Some bushes and trees here. If you can hear some music in the background, I've got the radio on outside, so right. And that looks okay. So I'm going to quickly come back now and do the front of the house and the roof, etc. I'm going to have the light coming from this side, so this part and this will be in the light, these bits will be in the shade, so we'll make them darker. So I'm just going to add a bit, I'm going to take up some of that colour just now, get it cleared so I can use it. I'm going to get a bit of brown, put some brown in there, and I'm going to use that for the wall here. So a lightish brown colour for the stone wall, and I'm leaving some bits of white. I don't want to fill it all in. It's not a brick wall, it's a stone wall, so we want to give it a bit of character. Right, so let's tackle the building. So I'm going to mix up a stone colour, and how I do that is I get some of that yellow ochre colour, and I add a bit of grey, Payne's grey, and it seems to give you a fairly nice stony colour, which we can soften down and try it and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's not bad. So I'm just painting over the whole thing just now, the whole side of the building and round the end, and just let that dry. Right, I'm going to paint the hedge in. I'm just going to use this green that I've got in the corner here. I'm going to mix up green, a bit of cadmium yellow, a bit of yellow ochre, and some of this ultramarine blue, which gives you a kind of nice mossy green colour. So I'm going to kick off with putting this in here to represent a hedge leading up to the house. Right, just going to strengthen some of this colour here to my watch. My watch. Phone has stopped. Right. I had 5 minutes left, so I'm just going to watch that going down. Right. Right, that's okay. So I'm going to do the roof now. I'm just going to paint that grey. I was tempted to paint it a reddy, light red terracotta colour, but I'm just going to play safe and put in some finish like so. Again, you'll notice I've not filled it all in. I think when that's dry it looks a bit better. Right, what I'm going to do now is go for a real dark greens for these trees at the back. So, I don't know if you remember this one, the brown and the blue gives you a really strong dark green. There we are, it's burnt umber. A bit of this Windsor Teal blue colour, which gives you a super green. So I'm just going to put these in at some tall trees just to give it a nice feeling contrast against the building. And these trees here, I've got 3.5 minutes left, so I better start moving. Right, that's not bad. So I'm going to do the same up here. I'm just going to paint some tall trees. I'll show you how to paint trees in a separate session. Trees can be tricky things and cause a lot of problems if we don't get them right. But that looks reasonable. Just going to make the shape of that, keep the shape in case I lose it. Right, there we are. Right, that's about it. Just going to suggest some slightly darker bits to trees coming down off the hillside. Again, just use some water to soften these bits off so they don't look too severe. Blend in. Right, that'll do. So, better start moving now. I've got a minute and a bit, so just going to suggest a little hump here. It looks. Again, just got to soften off the edges. Just before we finish, I'm just going to need to put the shadows in. That's fine. Just a little bit darker. And put the windows in, and that should be about it. Right, use some grey for that. So I'm just going to put the underside of the building. I'm down to the last minute here, so that I'll get this finished off. Some effects for the wall, stones, stonework, put some little bits in for the hedge, and finish off with some little tufty bits for the grass, and that would about do. Just want to put this shadow in, just a little bolder. There we are. Right, that'll do. What you could do is, just to finish it off, a couple of birds up in the sky. Somebody once told me, I don't know why I remember this, but if you're putting birds in, never have an even number, always make sure it's an odd number. Right, there we are. So, not too bad. It's just slightly over the 15 minutes. So here's the finished painting, and the whole point of the exercise was really 2 points, really, to speed up the painting. I find that when a lot of beginners come to classes, they're very slow and delicate, hold the brush down here, and very intricate marks, almost frightened to move it. You really have to start loose enough, get the brush moving quickly, get the skies, get the fields moving, rather than this slow technique. And the second point was to let you get into the habit of finishing a painting and leaving it for 15-20 minutes or so, and then come back And you can have a look at it again, and you might want to just add some details. As I've mentioned, you'll see I've had some bits and pieces for the wall, the windows, the roof. You just start to look at it again, and then you can feel satisfied that it's been a worthwhile exercise.